pretty special moment for somebody in this room. He's going to the big leagues today, this guy, this player. And he's the number one prospect in baseball.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Well,
Alright, so some big Rays news this month. I know I missed last month's update because things got a little hectic at the end of the month. But, I'm back now and right in the nick of time because some big announcement was just made, not even like a couple hours ago. Before we get into that real quick, I want to go through the May schedule and the June schedule, go over the wins and losses real quick. Then we'll get to the big news item here. So in May, on May 3rd through May 6th, they swept the Angels. No problem. Swept them. Then they lost 2 out of 3 against the Athletics. Then they lost 2 out of 3 against the Yankees. Then the Tampa Bay Devil Rays proceeded to win and sweep the New York Mets, the Baltimore Orioles, the Toronto Blue Jays, and had an 11-game winning streak, which was a huge lift for that team. It catapulted the Rays to first place, which they've held until today. Losing against the Mariners today in June, they have fallen a half game behind the Red Sox, going into a 3-game Red Sox series. But let's go back to the schedule. After sweeping the Blue Jays, they took 2 out of 3 against the Royals, and then swept the Phillies, took 2 out of 4 against the Yankees, and then took 2 out of 3 against the Rangers. And shortly before, they traded Willy Adamas. That was another big news thing. We knew Willy Adamas was going to get traded at some point this year. Didn't think it would happen this soon, but considering the people they're calling up, it makes sense why they got rid of him. And they were able to get back a couple good arms for him. So that happened back in May. I know I ran through May, and now we're running through June. They took 2 out of 3 against the Rangers, split the National Series, swept the Orioles, and then they took the first game in the White Sox series, and then devastating news, Tyler Glasnow has been injured. He got injured in this first game against the White Sox, and he's going to be out for the rest of the year. They're trying to get him back for the playoffs, so cross your fingers that he's going to be ready to go by the time the playoffs come around. I doubt it, but we really need somebody else to pick up the slack as far as starting pitching goes. I really feel like it's going to be a guy like Patino or Honeywell or McClanahan. One of those guys is going to break out at some point this year. And I really hope it's Honeywell. I feel like he could really thrive here at the major league level. But after Tyler Glasnow got hurt, the Rays have lost 6 straight games. They lost the White Sox series, and then they got swept by the Mariners in 4 games. Absolutely horrible losing streak here. And the Rays can't seem to buy a win. And now they're going into a Red Sox series. It's going to be 3 games at the Trop. And the only other 3-game series against the Red Sox this year was in the first month, and the Red Sox swept the Rays. And now they're pretty much tied for first place in the division. The Red Sox have a half-game lead. So whoever wins this series is going to be number 1 in division, at least for the time being. Obviously, teams are going to be, going in and out of that number 1 spot, all year. But the big news that came down the pike, that hopefully is going to give this Rays team some kind of lift that they desperately need, going on a 6-game losing streak here. Ever since losing Tyler Glasnow, there's this feeling that came over the team like they lost their ace. What's the point anymore? And they just look deflated. So how do you reignite this team? Oh, well, you just bring up the number 1 prospect in baseball, a young, switch-hitting shortstop who can also play third base, a man that they signed when he was 16 years old, Franco, the number 1 prospect in all of Major League Baseball. This is his first year at the AAA level, and after 1 month, the Tampa Bay Rays are ready to call him up to the Major League level, and they will be playing him. And I imagine they will be playing him in this Boston series. And this is exactly what the Rays need. They need a spark to the lineup. They need somebody to catapult them, to inspire them. And having a talent like Wander Franco on your team is almost the level of having a Mike Trout on your team. He is that good with the bat. His strikeout percentage is so low. All he does is hit the ball. His defense is lacking a little bit, but hopefully he can learn some stuff on the fly and just get a little better. Because if he figures out third base and that becomes a lockdown corner, then all of a sudden our defense looks like Wander Franco at third, Taylor Walls at short, Brandon Lau at second, and G-Man Choi at first. That's a solid infield. And you have 2 switch hitters there. Now you want to talk about versatility. This Rays lineup, Francisco Mejia, switch hitter. Taylor Walls, switch hitter. Wander Franco, switch hitter. And then you have a bunch of lefty and righty bats. There is nothing that is stopping the Rays from putting together a dope lineup. The only thing really stopping it is Kevin Kiermaier in that lineup. He is the one guy that's got to go. It's either him or Brett Phillips. One of them has to go. We cannot be holding on to bats that can't hit the ball. And I love Brett Phillips, so I'd rather him. And I would trade Kevin Kiermaier if you can get something back for him. Because having both of them in your lineup at the same time is what's killing this team right now. I can't believe Kevin Cash is doing this like night in and night out. It's crazy to me that he would even consider putting both these guys in the lineup at the same time. But that's what Kevin Cash does. He's a genius most of the time, and then he makes bonehead moves that don't make any sense. You got too many outfielders. Randy Arozarena, Kevin Kiermaier, Brett Phillips, Manuel Margot, all these guys can play center field. They're all pretty fast. They all have decent jumps on the ball. Maybe not Arozarena, but definitely Manuel Margot, definitely Brett Phillips. These guys can play the outfield very well. So somebody has to go, and I really prefer if Kevin Kiermaier went. And they held on to Manuel Margot, and Manuel Margot became your starting center fielder. Or Brett Phillips became your starting center fielder. I would much rather that. But yeah, there's your big news. Wander Franco is coming up at the major league level. It's happening. They're not waiting till the end of the year. They're giving him major league at-bats right now. Because the only way this Rays offense is going to get better is if these bats from the minor leagues come up and they start hitting. And their minor league pitching comes up and starts pitching. They can't rely on trades. They can't rely on signing big names. They have to rely on what's in their farm system. And everything they're missing on the major league team is in that farm system right now. Brett Honeywell's just chilling down there. Luis Patino just chilling down there. Both those guys should be starting for us right now. Get their reps in. They would certainly give us a better chance than Michael Wacha, who's given up 4 or 5 runs every time he comes out to pitch. Luis Patino also gives up like 4 runs every time. So why not give the 21-year-old a chance to correct his mistakes and stop resting on the laurels of Michael Wacha, hoping he's going to have a comeback year? Because I think that's very foolish. You have lots of young arms that could really benefit from facing major league hitters and starting to learn these hitters right now and getting better against them. That's what they need. They got the pieces. Let's just see it happen. I know they had a 6-game losing streak here. Hopefully that will get snapped in this Boston series. I do not want Boston to sweep us again. I'm sure the Rays don't either. And now they have Wander Franco as an option at the plate. But somebody on that starting pitching staff has to step up. It's got to be Yarborough. It's got to be Rich Hill. It's got to be Shane McClanahan. All these guys really got to step it up. And Rich Hill's been doing actually great for us. But even he has outings where he gets hit. Same thing with Yarborough. Same thing with McClanahan. So start buying your Wander Franco jerseys. He's going to be here for a while. And if he actually, let's say he comes up and he doesn't hit anything for like 2 months and it becomes the biggest dud in the history of the sport, then I'll stop doing these videos. That's how confident I am that Wander Franco is a stud. That Wander Franco is the next generational talent. And the Rays can lock him down for a good chunk of time. And he's going to add the spark the team needs right now to get out of this slump. Because just earlier in May, the Rays won 11 straight games. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs. And hopefully this will be the longest and only losing streak of this size this year. That's what we're hoping. But anyway, that's it for now. Let's go Rays. And please, Wander Franco, save us.
2-1. Break him all, hit by Franco. Left center field. Hits it far. This is headed the monster. Is it enough? It is! Grand slam! Wander Franco!
Well, then I guess there's only one thing left to do.
What's that?
Win the whole fucking thing.